All right, we're here in the Mooresburg, Tennessee shop of Scott Bloomquist. And Scott, let's start off by talking about 2012. You had some pretty big wins. You won the Commonwealth, you won the Firecracker, set a track record at Tazewell, and went on to win that race. So, what is there any moment about 2012 that really stands out to you as you look back?
You know, the Firecracker was a great weekend for us. That was probably our best we'd run up there. But, you know, the thing I guess that stands out more than anything is just too many seconds. We had a lot of second place finishes. And in a lot of the big events, you know, second. It's just like, but, you know, it's nice when you're that close, but getting that close and not bringing home the top check and the win, you know, it beats you up a little bit too. So, you know, this year not near as many wins as we're used to, but we still were right there, and you gotta be in second to get first.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times. So, you know, but we're working hard right now on trying to. We've been analyzing and really studying where to pick that last little bit up. You know, I've got a test. I'm going to go test here this week, and you just got to keep testing and just keep on beating this stuff up. You know, there's so many different products on these cars that make a big difference, and just refining. I think next year is going to be a better year for us.
Yeah. Well, this place is just adorned with trophies everywhere, and just from watching you on Dirt and the other interviews and being around you at the track, you seem like just an ultra competitive person. So I know the second places are not what you go to the track for.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, you know, there's only one winner, and you know, everybody wants to win, but we've had a tremendous amount of success. You know, with over 500 feature wins in our career, and you know, you just kind of can look back on different seasons, and some of them, just again, you might have been running second, and something happened, and then you end up winning the race, and you know, you cautions might fall right. You know, just some years it's just you have no luck. And when things don't go your way and you can run second, you know, you're still doing pretty good because there's a lot of tough competition out there, and people are spending plenty of money, and there's plenty of talent out there. It's probably I think the toughest group of racers or competition in any form of racing.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to talk to you about, is the level of competition. You know, maybe 10, 12 years ago, you might go to a track and have to beat two guys, and now, you know, there's Jimmy and there's Don O'Neill and the Clint Boyer cars and all that. And, of course, there's no shortage of money with the Clint Boyer stuff and the Bobby Labonte stuff and all that. So now the competition level is so high compared to what it was. And then if you go over to World Outlaws, of course, you got Josh Richards and Darrell Lanigan and all those folks as well.
Yeah, Rick Eckert. I mean, you know, they're – and then on the non-point steals, you know, and we all end up at Eldora and end up, you know, now we got all of us in one place, which those are actually the events I like the most. You know, I just bring them all, you know, let's have them all. I like the tougher the odds, the more I get up for it. And but yeah, no doubt about it. Competition level is very intense, and nobody's lacking the funding and equipment anymore. You know, just like with us working with people on race cars, you know, that made me have to step it up also. You know, and Jimmy running our cars, you know, he does awesome in our cars, and I spend my time constantly testing and working on new things to test, and you know, once the guys get our cars, you know, I give them everything they need, you know, to run good and try to help them everywhere they go. And that just puts more on me to have to work harder to outrun myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, talking about how competitive it is in the second places and the wins, if you had to grade yourself on 2012, just like if you were back in school, what kind of a grade do you think you'd give that season?
I'd have to say B. You know, when you got pluses and minuses in grades also. So you know, it might even be a B minus. But again, as many seconds as we had, and as tough as racing is, you know, I think that's pretty accurate. You know, there's some guys I respect quite a bit that I talked to, and I actually was surprised. You know, Shannon Babb being one of them, said he hadn't won a race that paid over $10,000, you know, in 5-6 years. So it just lets people see those big races are tough, and everything's got to fall into place. You can't make any bad decisions, and you got to be on your A game. And when you win those, you earned them.